Let's do this thing.
Let's do
What
this
are we
thing.
what are we talking about today? Anything?
I already sent that to you.
Oh, we're doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. I was a little okay, that's fine. All right, yeah, let's do it. We're
A
good.
little what?
Well then, let's do this thing.
A little what?
And check.
No. Do you not want to do this one?
No, I just really I kind of didn't know we were doing that one, so I don't know. I guess I wanted more time to think, I guess, or put more thought into it. But
I mean,
we
if we
can
did
do
a
it.
different topic, you'd have the same amount of preparation then. So doesn't
It's
matter.
fair. All right, let's do it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm here.
you're here.
Sorry, dude. That game last night was just freaking awesome. Plus, there's like, I don't know. We'll see.
Being very cryptic today.
I don't know. There's stuff. There's stuff happening, Drew. There's stuff happening.
I don't know what you're saying. You got another riddle for us to start this?
Just call me the Riddler, bro. Just call me the Riddler.
uh,
I'm good. I'm
that's
good.
it. Okay.
Yep,
All
we're good. We're
right.
good.
All right. Well, anyway, welcome to the Hypervision podcast with your co-host, me, Drew, and the Riddler.
That's me, man. It's
um,
how we doing, man?
Good. We'll see if Noah completes a full thought today. So far, he's 0 for 3.
No, we'll God, we'll get there. We'll get there. We're good.
Yeah, today's episode 48.
Is it actually
Yeah,
48?
episode 48.
Wow.
This will be the last one of 2023. I'm going to edit this tomorrow, get it out Sunday
Mm,
on the 31st. So that way
okay.
we just have one more that we did. That's just you and me to round out the year.
Yep. Yep.
Talk a little bit, discuss some things, reflect a little bit. We had, I think, a bigger breakthrough this year than we did the year before.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Which wasn't hard to beat because I didn't do much the year before.
Mm.
So,
It's all
but we
good.
did it.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah, I mean,
it's forward
working on it.
progress.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think it's
Stupidest rule in football. Not the stupidest, but I think it's a dumb rule.
yeah. No, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, definitely better than we were last year. 1,000%.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Noah's
Shout
on a
out
high right
to
now. The Browns won. They're in the playoffs.
they are. Yep. I don't care what anybody says. The Browns still suck. I don't care. Just let us have this win, please.
You have 11 wins. It's not just this one.
I know, but
You're
like,
11 and 5. Yeah.
it's like, it doesn't happen very often. Just let us,
Well, I mean, you were also, that's
celebrate.
coming from a Ravens fan today, if you're talking about what Isaac said.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to go off and be like, hey, like, look at the injuries, look at the, there. I could have went on a whole tangent, but
Oh,
I
I'm sure.
decided, I'll just let it ride. So, no, but in any case, it's awesome. Glad I got to witness that, and it was good. It was good,
Yeah.
very good. Might have gotten a little egregious on betting, but you have that.
Nothing new.
Still having a really big job.
Yep.
So yeah, it was good. Very good.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Uh,
I'm sorry, this popped in my mind. A shout out to Jason spending money on us. Right?
Actually, yeah. I don't know if you're going to hear these, but yeah, we have our first Hypervision Plus subscriber, Jason Hunt. He did it for the sole reason that he wanted to hear Michael's rant,
Oh,
and
good.
he even
That's a
tipped on it too.
that's a
He even tipped
that's a
on it. He didn't have to do that.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we need to get him on next year again.
We got a whole list of 2024 guests, Noah. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
But everyone that has already been on, I think I've put on a back burner. They got to wait a little bit.
Makes sense.
Before, so I'll give a little sneak peek to that first. I'm going to read this in the order I have it written down. It's not in the order of importance. It's just the order I talked to people and they responded to me in. Jake is on the list, but he's already been on, so he can wait. Tyler is on the list. He can wait a long time. He's been on like 7 times. Justin is on the list.
God bless America.
Isaac is on the list. He can wait. Ian is on the list. He can wait. Andrew is on the list. He can wait. Jameson's on the list. He can wait. Caleb, and then Adam. Adam has been on before, but I don't know if I really count his because that was in Tyler's basement when he went on a 35-minute tangent about animals.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So Caleb and Justin are the two at the top of this list currently because they've never been on. And then Adam, I'd say, if he wants to. But he's also been kind of vocal that he doesn't really think podcast is his thing, which doesn't matter. But also, so this one will be 48. The first one of the year will be 49. And I think for 50, we ask Natalie or if we know any other woman in our life to be on that one. So for 50, we get the first woman on Hypervision.
Yikes.
You don't have to try to impress her. She's somebody's wife. Don't worry.
I'm not. That's not what I was worried about. Trust me. That's something Josiah would say. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'll wear a slightly less V-neck shirt then.
Yeah, I'll just wear. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Not a sweatshirt. I went back through all of our episodes and I was wearing a sweatshirt. It's like what are we doing, man? I need to spice it up a little bit.
Stuff, yeah.
I am, yeah. It's usually I am. So
I got mine.
Yeah. I gotta get that.
Yeah. Eventually you'll get yours. What are you doing New Year's Eve, Noah?
We can talk about that offline.
All right.
That kind of goes into the Riddler aspect, if you kind of catch my drift. So,
okay,
we can talk about it, just not in record.
Sure. See, shout out Josiah.
Yeah, he's there. He's a guy. He's a person.
Mm-hmm. I think that's it. I was gonna end off with that for the introduction.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess one more thing. Tyler, Justin, Isaac, and Brendan started a podcast, as in they made a brand. They haven't done an episode yet.
All 3 of them together. That's what it's gonna be.
4.
Oh, okay.
Tyler, Justin, Isaac, Brendan. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
No introduction, I believe, is the name.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. We'll make sure to
don't
keep
know when
an eye on
it'll
that.
start, but
okay. Yeah. Keep an eye on that.
Some of them on here at some point for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Brendan will probably be on the list. Actually, I should supposed to write Brendan's name down because he confronted me and said, "Well, how much do I have to pay to get on the podcast?" Last time I saw him. So, hang on. Brendan's name is now down before I forget that again. He actually said he would potentially write a blog for us, put it on the website, because I have yet to do that still. So, yeah, you guys will eventually see him if you don't know him. If you do know him, there you go. Next. Was there next, or was it just the thing that I had?
Like I said, I just wanted to make sure we shout out Jason, and I think that was all I had. Yeah.
Shout out Jason and Josiah.
Sure. Yeah. Shout out Jason. I don't know what to say. No, Siah's cool. He's yeah.
You're getting it if he hears this one.
Nah, guy.
Okay, so as everyone knows, I had a second thought just pop in my head. I don't remember where that one came from. Anyway, sorry. We've been reading books. We started our challenge where we're supposed to be reading 15 pages a day. I have finished a book, which is wild to me. I don't think I was capable of that. I finished a second book, actually. Second
Oh, really?
agreement, the four agreements took maybe 5 days. It's like 130 pages, maybe 140.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll be finishing that. Hopefully by the end of the how much time do we have? What, Sunday's New Year's Eve?
yeah,
So
today, tomorrow, Sunday.
yeah, I should be able to. Yeah, it depends what I do, but I should be able to finish her up and then yeah, I'll start on the next one. Be good. Got an Amazon gift
Um,
card for Christmas, so I'm about to spend it all on books. So it'll be good.
or stupid things that you can
I
get shipped
could,
to your door in one day.
could, but we'll
So
see.
we started reading. Which one was this one? What's
Chatter,
it called? Chatter.
chatter.
Yeah, Chatter is the book we were reading. Mostly dealing with like how to have the conversations in your head in a positive way, or at least like just what those conversations are in your own head, how to talk to yourself, how to better manage it, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there was one page that kind of stuck out to me, and it wasn't really just because like the part of the page like was like, oh my god, I've never heard of this stuff before. I looked at it and it was more of like a reflection kind of thing. Uh, that like it wasn't just like an in the moment thing that happened where I was like, oh my gosh, I am now fixed, because I don't think that's what reading does,
Yeah.
personally. But it was more just like I looked at like what this thing was talking about. I compared it to how I was, and I was like, oh, I've actually improved a lot in this certain area. And I'm not going to read the whole page because that's boring. But it was talking about like he's calling like chatter advisors, which is where you like the people you go to when you have these things going on in your mind, who you go to talk to, and like how you can better deal with that kind of stuff. Um, and it was kind of just talking about like having different people to go to for different types of things, instead of just always having one person to funnel everything through, or
Mm.
going to everyone about everything. Um, and there's more to it. I'm not going to get too philosophical with it because I'm going to start sounding smarter than I need to, and I am not there. But I looked at it, and this is kind of what I summed up and said to Noah uh, about what I thought about it. Um, and most people that knew me through college will understand this is how I felt, probably, of like looking back at this and having certain people to help you for certain things kind of helped me realize like I don't actually need to be the therapy friend for everyone, like the therapist friend that like if someone has an issue they go to me, and like for everything. And it's not that they do, it's just that a lot of times in college when it came down to the friend group me and Tyler had, uh, a
Okay.
lot of the things came down to me.
I get where this is going. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. All right.
And I think part of that comes down to myself, that like I kind of made myself available for all those moments.
Absolutely.
Um,
I would agree.
and like it's not a bad thing to be there for your
Yeah.
friends when
No,
they
no,
need
absolutely
you. Um, but like I was telling Noah, it's not healthy for me to always want or like need to be on call for every single person that I know. Because it's just draining emotionally and physically and mentally. Mentally was the word. Yeah. Just to always be on call, always be waiting for someone else, spending more time caring about whether or not someone else may need me or may want to talk to me, more than focusing on what I need to focus on for myself. And I was like, I love my friends. I'd always do what I can to help them, but I don't need to go out of my way to assume the responsibility of someone else's issues. Like it's their life, and it's always better for them if they do as much as they can for themselves. Like we've been realizing, like trying to do this challenge is the stuff we've talked about with like Ian just last episode, and just like things we've talked about and we're dealing with. Like uh, we're doing a lot of these things for ourselves. We're doing this challenge with other people, technically. Like I'm talking to you about it, I'm talking to Tyler's friends about it, I'm talking to my friends, I'm posting on social media. I'm doing it with other people, but like it is a solo challenge at the end of the day. Like I don't drink water with you at the same time, even though when I do yell, like, no, I pick up the water.
Yep.
It's not like
Just random
we're doing a
text.
co-op thing where like me drinking water drinks water for you kind of thing. Like it's all separate. I read my own pages. I do my own meals. I do
Yep.
my own exercises. Um, because I want to do these things for me. You know, like I want to make it so I'm doing better. And I'm not making someone else do this for me. I'm not having someone else not push me because other people are pushing. But like, yeah. Um
I think for me it's kind of that I know we're not like we're not competing necessarily, but I think it kind of has some sort of that similar aspects to it where it's um uh, um again it's not a competition, but it's just trying to obviously better ourselves, but it has some of those same aspects that I kind of take from that I like that help me personally. So
yeah,
yeah,
like a level of accountability to it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I was also saying, like, you know, like as much as I love talking with my friends about the things that happen to me or whatever's going on or venting, um, you know, talking to certain friends about certain issues might be better because like, you know, whatever has happened to them in their life and whoever's better suited for it, just how it goes down sometimes. It's not like you're trying to hide info from other friends by not going to them about a certain thing that happened in your life. It's just that, you know, maybe I don't have an example off the top of my head, but you can put one in your own head when you hear this. You know, maybe you have something happen in your life, you want to talk about it, you've got things going on in your brain, you just need to get them out and talk to people. Maybe there's someone in your life that you know that has gone through a very similar thing or the exact same thing. Obviously, it's a much better choice to go to that person to talk about it than it would be, um, you know, someone who hasn't dealt with something like that. And it's not that like that's an issue. I think that's just a smart idea to do. And it
yeah.
also could be a very simple thing. You know, it sounds kind of simple. It's like, oh, who should I talk to about this thing? Probably the person that has dealt with it. But it was more of like a realization I had that like I can actually happily take a step back a little bit and not worry about other people's as much because if they want to talk to me about something, they'll come talk to me about it. You know, like I don't have to go out of my way to try to look like I'm there for them. Like they'll know I'm there, obviously, from the way I act towards them. It's not that I have to like tell them like, hey, like constantly be on them, like, you know, therapist friend, asking them all these questions and not actually listening to them. Cause I think another part of this book, and I don't remember where it is, if you've gotten there or not, um, talks about like silent helping. It's mostly like talking about like relationship stuff for that part, I
Yep.
think.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like it's giving support from a distance pretty much of like,
Yep.
you know, it's not even stuff that they realize. Like if you live with a person, like, oh, maybe just doing the dishes every once in a while they're busy, or going and picking up stuff, or just doing something around the house that while they're busy and got stuff going on, or just have something going on in their head, just little things like that, that like people won't notice. But when they realize it, they realize you're there for them. So you'll know who, like, they'll know they can go to you uh, when those moments come around if it matches that they want to talk to you about it. Like, you know, I don't have to constantly sweat over the idea of like, oh man, if someone has something and they don't go to me, I'm not a good friend. No, it's just that they have someone else that can work better for that in their mind, and that's completely okay. And I think I've gotten a lot better with that, and I've worried about it a lot less over the last couple of years, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like that. I just think it has to be healthy. I feel like if you go to someone, um, it can be taken as I'm trying to think how I want to say. Let's just say for you, like for your instance, if someone comes to you, they they want to like vent to you basically. You hear it and then you give your advice. As long as that's like healthy, I think that's great. But like, I feel like that like, how do you know that it's healthy, right? Too, because like you could be giving like somebody vents to you, you give them advice that could be not good advice, right? So I think it's kind of finding that balance, making sure it is healthy. Because I've seen some of my friends give advice and then they talk to me about it. And I'm like, I don't know if that's exactly what I would have done, but Sure, go ahead. I'm not saying my way was better or their way was better, but just different approaches, I guess, to how you would, give advice to someone or if someone was venting to you. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think that's the big positive side of having a community around you, though, is that like,
Yeah, of course.
you can go to that one person that may have a completely different viewpoint than you do, and then you can then go to the other person, say like, we'll just use Josiah in this example because he's the first friend of yours I thought of. Say they go to Josiah, and then they talk to you and say, hey, this is what Josiah said. I've got this thing going on. And you go, oh, I probably would have different advice for that. Great. Two different perspectives for that person to deal with now.
Yeah.
They can, pick through the parts they like of that and then go from there. And
Mm,
if however big your circle is, however many people you talk to, whatever you find online, stuff like that, books, teachers, all this kind of stuff, it's just so many different things you can go to try to really narrow down your approach of how to actually deal with the situation you have.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the book's been good, man. Honestly, I think it's related with some of the stuff that he said. Um, I don't know how much you actually want to get into it, but um, you know, like the stuttering aspect, like that, like the like in my head, like whenever I'm like I guess talking to myself, or like you have that voice in your head, like I don't stutter in there, and there's other aspects. Like I liked how in the book um he himself like struggled. Like he didn't necessarily like call himself like an expert, right? Like even he himself struggled with, the voice in your head, just trying to um take control of it pretty much, right? So it was good. But yeah, I haven't gotten to this part that you're talking about in particular, but um I'm excited to get there. I'll get there soon, very soon. But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. No, I just think it was a really good book. I don't think it like I said, I don't think just reading a book
Yeah, I
automatically
agree.
cures you and gives you
I
the
agree.
knowledge like it's a video game.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
but like it's still it's mostly just like uh it kind of just makes you think a lot more, I think,
Exactly.
which is good because
Yep.
that's the kind of the
Exactly.
space I'm in right now is that I'm just asking myself a lot of questions.
I agree.
Um, and kind of formulating this worldview that I have of
hmm
where I'm going right now. But um it is a pretty interesting perspective to finally like, you know, I think it was honestly, I think we picked the perfect book for where we were at right now, honestly, because
Yeah, I
like
do.
before we even talked about actually trying to read books, the whole conversations we were having like in podcasts or just over the phone or just on like Xbox parties and stuff like that, just all the time of like just like, what's going on in our brain now, like why are we not realizing what we were doing was just you know, why weren't we doing this before? Um and I think it's later in the book, but he talks about another student he had in class that was like, hey, so if all of this stuff is so important, why didn't we learn it earlier? And he was like, and I think he like even says in the book, as like a college professor, is it Harvard? Is that where he's at? Is there's some sort of Ivy League school, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
Um,
Harvard. Yeah. It's Harvard.
yeah, some sort of Ivy League professor. He is stumped by the question of a girl in his class asking him, "Why didn't we learn this earlier?" And he didn't have an answer because he's like, "I honestly, I don't know." And he said that's part of the reason why he wrote the book was because he wants people to realize that like you don't have to just be 25 or in college to finally start thinking about yourself
Yep.
and how you
Yep.
can better deal with your inner issues and how to
I
talk to yourself.
I think you nailed it right there because, like, I feel like at least for me, it's like we were talking with Ian, and it's like just kind of realizing now, like, I should, really take control of like the what's out there, right? It's I don't know. I just never really thought about it until recently. So, um, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I think yeah, just reading these books is just it's just making you think. It's just making you think, um, and if it does help you like down the line, it's awesome. But obviously like oh read a book. Oh I can control my mind. I am right there. That voice in my head, I'm good to go. No, it's just not how it works. So, um, Yeah, it was good, dude. The story with the story he gave of the one student he had, the NSA person, that story was crazy.
Hmm.
That was wild. That was a good one.
Yeah. No, there's a reason the book is actually like way shorter than you think it is. Because like,
The
how many? I
references.
don't remember how many pages it says it is, but like, it's like 70 pages shorter than what you think. Because there's like literally 50 pages of references, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, he makes a reference probably like 3 times a page, so
Hmm.
it makes sense. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I mean, that's another thing to bring up. It's all those different perspectives that he's pulling from. Like that's a lot of where I think his knowledge comes from in dealing with all of this is that he's not just like giving you examples of like from his own memory or whatever, from his own stories he can construct in his mind. They're all real life stories. They're all pulled from old books, old history lessons, old everything. Like just he pulls from so many different things that like it's just so almost proven that like the stuff he's talking about is kind of the stuff you need to work on. And I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. It's like an encyclopedia of how to manage your brain.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I agree. Um, I'm trying to go back to your point of um, the the reflection, or the talking of different people. I had a question, but now I forget it. I'll think of it.
Okay.
I just wanted to go back to that point, and I know that was kind of the bigger topic here, so I just wanted to talk more about it. But now I'm forgetting what I was going to ask about it.
Um, well, let's see. I talked about being a therapist friend, that I don't need to be that. It's healthier to not be all the time, to always be on call. Um,
Oh yeah, do you feel if you see someone you know struggling, maybe they don't vent to you, but like you kind of feel like they would need some help? Do you think it's I don't know if it ever mentions it in the book, but like is it like healthy to like approach someone about that or like I guess not someone approach like a friend, you know what I mean? Like if you think they need help, I don't know. I just
I
don't like personally, I don't feel like I would like push that, right? Like I might like subtly mention something, but like I'm not gonna push
yeah,
myself and uh, like force myself to help someone, right? So
yeah.
um, I mean,
Uh, I'd say technically it depends, I guess, on what you think they're dealing with. Like if you know what they're dealing with, but they won't talk about it, it does kind of depend on how big it is. Like if it's a little thing, I would probably push. Like if it's just like they're having a rough couple days at work or whatever, like I don't know, just whatever it might be. That's not something crazy.
I,
I would
I
probably
feel.
push a little bit, but I think that's also where I was talking about that like that silent helping thing he talks about.
Hmm.
Just kind of like doing things for them that like it's little things that like you're not telling them you're doing it. It's not like you're going out of your way to show that that's happening. It's just like doing something for them that's little that they might not notice. That just makes
Hmm.
stuff easier for them along the way.
Yeah.
Um,
I just feel like
I, yeah.
it's different. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it also kind of depends on your relationship with them too. Like
Sure. Yeah.
if you're
I
not
would.
used to having those talks with someone, I wouldn't just go prying at them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's not something that I would do personally. I was just curious if it mentioned anything in the book, but um, what was I going to say? Damn it. I actually lost this one. Man, this is not good, man. This is not good. Twice. I was I gonna say? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, I just think too, it's like people, I think don't vent sometimes either. It's like they just kind of hold all that in, and I think that's another thing too. It's like, I mean, I feel like I'm lucky enough to have people that have something to say or would want to quote unquote vent that people would listen, but for those people out there that don't even want to do that. Just kind of keep it all in. I think I think it even goes back to us talking about you know we talked about what like being a man. I think right like I don't
I'm an
know
expert.
something like that. Like I feel like we're almost taught as men to like hold in our feelings, right? Not talk to people, stuff like that. So it's that's interesting. And kind of goes into that too.
Yeah. I think ranting might also not be seen as the healthiest thing by some people,
Sure, absolutely.
because
I
ranting
would
can
agree
easily
too.
turn into anger
Yep, yep,
and
yep, 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 yep.
aggression, as we've seen in FIFA Pro Clubs playoffs.
I mean,
Um,
I'm guilty of it. I'm literally guilty of it. I mean, I'll write it.
uh,
I'm guilty of it.
as you're talking about, you saying you're okay, or like having venting sessions, I started laughing a little bit, but because that was the
Well, I
first thing I
was
thought
thinking
of.
more of I was thinking more of like real life stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking,
What are you
more
saying about
serious,
real life?
more serious topics than
Yeah,
FIFA. I'll
right,
vent and rant about FIFA all day long. You know,
right.
so,
I get you. But yeah, I mean, I think part of it might be why, just because venting. I don't know if that's core, because I don't know what the core of venting is, but it can really come off aggressive and angrily, angrily. Um,
yeah,
but I mean, maybe that's just because it is. Maybe it's that we're only venting at such a high level because like we're not dealing with things before it builds up to that certain height. You know, because I do that a lot. I think when I just kind of like have an outburst and I just have to get all my shit out.
yeah. I mean, if you want to go back to FIFA, it's like I get to a point, and then once that point hits, I just go, man.
Yeah,
And I don't know what comes out of my mouth sometimes. I just let her go.
yeah,
I don't care if it's stutter. I don't care if it's fluent. I don't care. I'll just say whatever, and whatever comes out comes out. And
yeah.
yeah, it's not good. It's usually not good. I probably should work on that, but it is what
They
it
should
is.
work on it too. I'm talking about their abilities.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Um, but I mean, yeah, going back to this silent helping thing of like, if you can tell someone's struggling with something, if they've got something going on in their head, and it's just stuff that like, you don't know how to approach them. I have tested it recently that I do think the silent help thing does kind of work. Um, I'm
In
gonna
what way?
out. I'm
Give me
gonna
an
out my
example.
roommate here. So he's at a newer ish job currently. Not in the best mindset with it. It's not everything that he wanted it to be. It's not going that great. He's getting very stressed out about it. A lot's going on. So I could tell that like he was getting like pretty stressed out like a couple weeks ago. So I was like, hey, we'll get a couple guys together and we can go out and get a drink tonight. Um, got those guys to say yes, like, yeah, we're in, that's cool. It ended up Andrew was busy. So for the first 2 hours of the night, he wasn't there. And then he came late. But, he got there eventually, he got to hang out with us, just, you know, guys being dudes. Um, you know, he got a drink, got to chill out for a second, talk with us, and just not even about what was going on, to just, let loose and forget about what was going on, for a little bit. Because, he is a very, 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 very hard worker and puts himself at a very high standard. So, like, the fact that it's not going the way he wants, just in the terms of the job itself, is, I think something that really is weighing on him.
Hmm.
Um, and then last week, I could tell, like, it was just like he was down. Like, he just seemed tired. He seemed like worn out. He seemed annoyed. It just seemed burnt out completely, just like with a lot of things. And I was like, I think it was, what day was it? It was sometime last week. I don't remember what day. It was like 50 degrees outside. I was like, I'm gonna go for a run. Because when I walked in, he was just laying in his bed scrolling through TikTok. He never does that in the middle of the day. He does not touch TikTok until he's about to go to bed or if he's taking a dump. That's the only time. So it was like lights off, 5:30, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a run. You want to go? And he was like, I was like, you want to go?
Yeah, I know that. I know that. You've asked me before.
Yeah, with Taco Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, I think it would be good if just get him out of the house. As simple as it is, just we went on like a 1.3 mile run. Like it was 15 minutes while we were out, pretty much. But like it's a head clearing thing. It gets you stressed out a little bit. You're getting your blood pressure up a little bit and cooling it down. And relaxed for the day at that point.
Yeah.
I can't say if it worked wonders, but I do feel like for the little bit after that, he was pretty, mellowed out a bit more. And it's not that I went out of my way. I was already doing it. I was already going for a run. I was already going to go out with those guys. It's just, that was the intention, kind of was like, I want to help him out a little bit, get some pressure off of him. He's got a lot going on. He's talked about it a little bit, but he's never going to really admit, I think, that like he wants someone to help him here. And I said this to him once and it didn't go over well, but he has some trouble admitting he needs help or wants help. So, and that's where I think coming into the it depends on how well you know them and what relationship you have with them is like, I have now figured that out a bit more and a bit better, that like if he's brought up an issue that like is going to be a recurring thing or going to go on for a while, there's a good chance you're not going to hear about it again unless you bring it up, because he's just going to deal with it himself, and that's great. That's an amazing thing. Is that he always tries to do it himself. He always tries to be an independent guy. It's just like, why not get a little bit of help if you can? So throughout a couple things, other than that, he's still doing his own thing, and I think he's doing well. I don't know. He just was in Wisconsin for a whole week, so I haven't talked to him. But the silent help, I think, is a big thing to be able to still have a foot in the door of the therapist friend, I guess, as you want to call it. But I think it's just being a good friend, being there for your guys that you're in your life. But
yeah,
I like that
absolutely.
part a lot in that book.
Yeah, I remember reading that. I do agree though. I think it was more geared toward like relationships. I think
By
I mean,
single man, we got to put it to everything else.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's great. That's great. That's awesome. See, you're already taking stuff from the book.
Wait, I read the book. I've absorbed everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, like we said, this is the last one for 2023. I'm not gonna do like a whole reflection episode by episode thing because I don't remember what we did this year.
Yeah, no.
But like we say it all the time. Like we're working on things, we're improving things. I think we're finally at the point where we're really taking steps to do that.
Mm.
And I think eventually, like, just it's like from doing all this kind of stuff. Is there someone like dying outside? It sounds like there's a transformer fight. Sorry.
What? Freaking Autobots roll out.
I don't know what's going on. But just like constantly working through all this kind of stuff is, I think, what's really gonna eventually help us take the brand, the merch, the podcast episodes, anything else we do to just like a whole new, better, kind of experience and better level for everything. Like being more in tune with yourself, being more confident, and being at a bit better of like just a mental state and having a better routine, I think also will help that out, of just like being able to spend more time actually working on things, like putting up posts, putting putting blog posts up, putting social media posts up, making videos, maybe finally branching out, like like we have technically 4 new staff members, I guess, because Justin and Tyler and then Isaac and then Brendan all volunteered to work for Hypervision, with no pay, and also made me the CEO and made you the VP. So
I love it.
yeah, we like
I
we
love it.
have all these multiple options. Like, they just started a podcast. Like, there's stuff we can do with them, probably just like
Hmm.
talking with them and doing other things with them, making content and making the beer Olympics in the summer happen, stuff like that. Um,
Yeah, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think I think you hit it on the head there. I mean, just endless content, right? I mean, we can kind of let them do their own thing, and then yeah, just get together at some points and make content together. Yeah, it's really it's as simple as that. There's nothing really to go into. I just think that we've been blessed with a great group of guys here, and uh, just happy that we all met each other and we can do this. And it's good. It's been good.
Mm-hmm.
If you had asked me 5 years ago that I'd be doing this, and known people from basically all over from the state of Ohio, I would have thought you were insane. So pretty crazy.
Why? You don't think you'd have I'd grown up in Amish town, you didn't think you'd have a podcast?
No, no, or meet people from across the state or different states, I guess, if you count Ian technically, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
um,
He was
yeah,
born
it's
in
crazy,
Cleveland.
man. Yeah, so it's cool,
Was he
man.
born in Cleveland?
It's awesome.
I don't know. He has an English passport. I don't know where he was born, honestly. Guy's been everywhere.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good. And as we say, we got the new year coming up here. Um, people people say it's the start of a new chapter. Well, I guess if you want to do that, but I feel like you can do that whenever you want during the year. It doesn't have to be the new year. So as we are doing now with this, so um, yeah, I just think definitely got some good things and good good group of people around us, and it's good. It's
Yeah.
good.
I think this will be our shortest podcast in a while, which is good because I feel like sometimes I try to drag it on too long, even though we don't need
No,
to.
no, I think it's good. I think it's we had a pretty long one with Ian last time, so but that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
He could
That
have
was
gone
good.
another hour, I think. He
Oh
had a
yeah,
whole other
yeah,
topic he wanted to
yeah,
hit.
100, yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we said, big things coming up still. Got our huge guest list. We'll try to see, we can get book podcast out. We can get, just different, a lot of these people are in the categories of where we've put down the different branches we thought about with Hypervision. A lot of these
Hmm.
guys on the list are like the people that like we've put in those categories. Like, we can do this with them, this with them. So, I don't think it would be like when we start the episodes when we branch out with them. It'd be more of the idea of like we talk with them, and this kind of like opens up the avenue to really start looking at what that would mean. Of like, if we started to go into sports a little bit, how would that even make sense? Like, what would we do with that? Or if we wanted to have like a second podcast under us, how would that look? All these kinds of things. I think would finally start to open the door a bit more once we get going and talking with them.
Yeah, I agree.
And look out in 2024, episode 50. I'm not going to guarantee it because you never know what if someone's busy or not. We'll see. That's currently the plan. Is you guys have heard it. At episode 50, we'll have the first true appearance of a woman on Hypervision. We'll see.
They scare me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Also, I have this written down and circled and starred. This will maybe that could be 50. No, it won't be. Too late. This one needs more time. You brought it up, I think, with Ian. Maybe it was in an episode recently. You brought it up of what you do well, and that's something you want to find out and figure out more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have that written down, circled, and starred.
Yeah,
so that's also another upcoming podcast. I'm just putting that back in your head, so I'm going to bring it up eventually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I still think it's something that I'm. Yep. We'll leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, because I have more I want to say on it too before we do anything else with it too. So
Okay.
cool. I think we're good.
Awesome. Yeah.
Shout out
That
Josiah.
sounds good. Yeah. Yeah. He's a guy.
Here's a guy. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next year.
Yes.
Peace.
Have a great New Year's, and yes, peace, string breeze.